अधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। रामो राजमणिः सदा विजयते, रामं रमेशं भजे। रामेणाभिहता निशाचरचमु, रामाय तस्मै नमः। रामान्नास्ति परायणं परतरं, रामस्य दासोऽस्म्यहं। रामे चित्तलयः सदा भवतु मे, भो राम मामुद्धर। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं, नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं, सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः, भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः। स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः, व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः, स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः। स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः, स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। 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 Fifth and sixth mantra, second Mundaka, second Khanda. Yasmin Dyav Prithvi Chantariksham, Otam Manassah Pranaischa Sarvaiः, Tamevaikum Janatha Atmanam, Anya Vacho Vimunchathamrutasyaisha setuः, Ara ivarathanabhau samhata yatra nadyah, Sa eshontascharate bahudha jayamanah, Omityevam dhyayatha atmanam, Swasti vah paraya tamasah parastat. Fifth mantra spoke about how to meditate on this akshara and how to appreciate akshara as not only witness of thought but substratum of creation. Yasmin Dyauhu Prithvi, Surya Loka, our heavens, Dyuloka, and all other Loka, Prithvi Loka, everything is pervaded by this consciousness, including sky, Antariksham, Otam. And that same consciousness pervades mind and all sense organs. Otam Manaha Saha Praneshya Sarvaihi. That which pervades all 14 worlds is the same consciousness which is illumining my thoughts. This is what one has to hold on to. Tam eva ekam janatha. Know that consciousness alone. Atmanam, know it as one's own self and self of all beings. Other than this, don't allow the mind to go after anything in this creation. Anya vacho vimunchata. Anya vacho vimunchata means don't get stuck with anything else. Pashya samsara natakam. Look at the theater play called this samsara. Keeping attention on the truth, don't get stuck. Nataka word also, atak means to get stuck. Na atak means don't get stuck. What we saw yesterday in Ramcharitmanas class, मैं अरु मोर तोरते maya. What is Maya? I and mine, you and yours. This is sufficient to create lot of obstacles on our journey towards self-abidance. So Anya Vacho Vimunchata means give up this notion of possessiveness and exclusion. Main aru more is possessiveness. Torate is exclusion. Strong notion of possessiveness and exclusion will become our obstacle. See, Anya Vacha Vimunchata, if you just translate it as Aparavidya, we feel we never talk much about Aparavidya in that sense. Vyakarana, Nirukta, Chandasa. Giving up all of that means first giving up all erroneous things that this mind holds. That this mind holds on to. In Kabir Das Ji's life, there is one incident where one person comes and says, I want to defeat you in Shastrartha. I want to have a debate. And Kabir Das Ji says, I declare you as the winner. Why necessarily get into Shastrartha and then you defeat me? Because his point is, we should keep our mind on the artha of Shastra. Artha of Shastra means meaning of scriptures, which is Akshara. No point in getting into too many arguments. It's a very healthy mindset for a sadhaka. See, the thing is, once we start studying Vedanta, what is the thinking of a Vedanta sadhaka? Whenever he experiences sorrow, whenever he experiences agitation, whenever he experiences any other emotion which is bothersome, his first question is, where have I identified erroneously? Before trying to solve anything outside, his first question is, where is adhyasa happening? This question is only for Vedanta sadhaka. If it's not sadhaka, first his attention will be outside. It is because of this person, because of this situation. That is not a sadhaka's perspective. What is sadhaka's perspective? Anya vacho vimunchata. If I had successfully done this, there should be no reason for sorrow. If at all I see sorrow, that means I am holding on to some anatma. In pure consciousness, there is no trace of sorrow. First anatma I hold on to is ahankara. With that ahankara, I hold on to mind. With that mind, I hold on to body. And as this jiva, I hold on to world. On top of that world, I have ragadvesha. So his solution is very, very precise. That arrow he can shoot right at the target. Brahma tallaksham uchyate. That is the beauty of this phrase, Anya vacho vimunchata. Whenever I see sorrow, I should ask myself, what am I holding on to? Very likely it will fall under anatma. Why very likely? 100%. See, we define kshetra so elaborately in 13th chapter. What is the point of this elaboration? if at all I am seeing sorrow, that means I am identifying with Kshetra. Perception of sorrow might be there, but if I give reality to that sorrow and say, I am sorrowful, that is my bondage. That phrase we have to think deeply. Anya vacho vimunchate. What am I holding on to? What I should let go. Gurudev's quote you apply for this verse. Anya vacho vimunchate. Introspect daily. Now, there are several things I can introspect. What is introspection in this regard? Which anatma am I holding on to? Introspect daily, detect diligently which anatma it is. Then negate ruthlessly. Whatever anatma I am holding on to, negate it with the strength of knowledge. Then substitute wisely. Vichara of akshara, that is substitution. And grow steadily. That is the journey. Next came another metaphor of spokes of the wheel and the hub of the wheel. See, before we go into this metaphor, 6th and 7th mantra we should appreciate there is one flow of thought. See, when it is said, turn attention towards consciousness, that consciousness which is infinite, we find it difficult to turn attention. So what Upanishad is doing is, it is pointing us a location within our body and says, this is where you will recognize consciousness. So first location it points out is heart. Next verse Shankaracharya ji elaborates why heart is referred to as the location. Whenever we say I, where do we point? We don't point here or some other body part. We point here only. Means distinct expression of consciousness can be seen in the heart. But in that heart, the mantra says recognize buddhi. Because you will not find Atma in Sthula Sharira. You will find buddhi first. Buddhi means intellect, flow of thought. Mind, intellect is together here. Right where there is buddhi, as illuminator of those thoughts, you will find Atma. Recognize that Atma, shift attention to that Atma, and know it to be infinite. This is called as Shaka Chandra Nyaya. If you want to show the thin crescent moon. Now to see that moon amidst the stars and the vast sky is difficult. So we'll point out to a branch of a tree and say, look there. Through that branch, I can shift attention to moon. But if I keep looking at the branch only and not shift attention to the moon, that is like meditating upon body and not shifting attention to consciousness. They said consciousness is available in the heart. But if I meditate only upon the heart or some chakra or something else, that is like meditating on Shaka. Then it becomes a chakra view. You went inside and mind is thinking about body only. Main object of meditation was lost. In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan gives few indicators of focusing on body. 8th chapter he says, Bhruvor Madhye Pranamavesha Samyaka. Or in 6th chapter he says, Sampreksha Nasikagram Swam. Pay attention to the center point, the point in between the eyebrows. Tip of the nose. Now some people get confused. Tip means this side or that side. Tip of the nose is in between, Bhruvor Madhya. So there you have to focus. But main point is, the meditation is not on tip of the nose. To focus the mind and shift attention, tip of the nose is pointed out. So here also you see this mantra. First step is Hridaya is pointed out. Ara iva ratanabhav samhata yatra nadyah. Just like different spokes of the wheel are rooted in the hub, different nadis, different veins are rooted in Hridaya, heart. Sa eshaha antascharate. In that heart, consciousness is moving about as illuminator of thought. So from physical heart, he has come to buddhi. And consciousness is illuminator of buddhi. Bahuda jayamana. It is born in several ways. Means with conditioning, it appears as different thoughts. Om iti evam dhyayata. Pay attention to this consciousness by saying the word Om. Means you have to build that relationship. When I hear Om, it should not be just mere sound. Om is that which is pervading each and every thought. That consciousness which pervades thoughts, distinctly recognized in the heart. Om iti evam dhyayata atmanam. Recognize this consciousness there and meditate upon it. This was the advice given by our Angiras Rishi to Shaunak Maharshi. Then Shaunak Maharshi is getting ready to go and sit in meditation. Teacher blesses by saying, Swastivav paraya tamasav parastat. From my teaching until your self-abidance, may no obstacles come to you. It's a beautiful blessing. Huh? Knowledge this person got. Self-abidance is result of knowledge. Until you are able to see the truth, abide in the truth for yourself, may your mind be protected from worldliness. Nirvignata. May all the obstacles be removed. What is the greatest obstacle? Losing faith in our goal. Ananda Swarupa is Atma alone. To counter this understanding, there is world standing there. May that world not become an obstacle in the form of coloring of our mind. Tamasav parastat. May you cross over this ocean, river of tamas, ignorance. Right now, we are on this side. May we go on to the other side. This is the Ashirvada. Let us look at the Bhashya. Kincha araha iva yatha rathanabhau samarpitaha araha evam samhataha sampravishtaha yatra yasmin hrudaye sarvatah dehavyapinyaha nadyah tasmin hrudaye buddhi pratyaya sakshi bhutah sa esha prakrutah atma antarmadhye charate charati vartate pashyan shrunvan manvanah vijanan bahudha anekadha krodha harshadi pratyayaihi jayamanah iva jayamanah antahkarana upadhi anuvidhayitvat vadanti laukikaha hrushtah jatah kruddhah jatah iti. So once you have understood the essence of the mantra, if we are sincere seekers of Vedanta, our quest should be to understand how Shankaracharya has opened up every word. And whatever we have discussed in English, same thing will be pointed out in Sanskrit Bhashya. Kincha, moreover, araha iva, like spokes. Yatha ratanabhav samarpitaha araha, spokes which are rooted in the hub, in the same way, samhataha, sampravishtaha, well entered. What is the metaphor here? Yatra yasmin hrudaye, where in that heart, sarvatah deha vyapinyaha nadyaha, those nadis which are deha vyapi, pervading the body, they are all rooted in the physical heart. See, deha vyapinyaha is saying. So first step is to recognize presence of heart. Means in the entire body, he says, pay attention to this heart. What is the definition of heart? That place where all nadis are rooted. Tasmin hrudaye, in that heart, buddhi pratyaya sakshi bhutaha. So in heart, recognize buddhi first. Thoughts. And in buddhi, recognize witness of thoughts. Or you can say, through buddhi, recognize witness of thought. Note down these 3 steps. They are very important for the next mantra also. First, physical heart. In that physical heart, recognize buddhi. Through that buddhi, recognize buddhi pratyaya sakshi. Saha eshaha, that buddhi pratyaya sakshi is this one only. Esha means this one. Who is this one? Prakrutaha Atma. That Atma whose discussion is currently being done. Means that Akshara, whom we started discussing at Divyo Hyamurta Purushaha, that same Akshara, Avihi Sannihitam Guhayam, that same Akshara is present as witness of thought, recognized in the heart. Means our mind needs some support to focus. So see how they are taking us from known to that which is beyond knowledge of sense organs. You cannot say Atma is unknown. Atma is that which is not known as an object. So heart is known. To know buddhi, it needs more subtlety. Through buddhi, recognize buddhi pratyaya sakshi. Prakrutah Atma antar madhye charate. That Atma alone moves about, or it is existing as buddhi pratyaya sakshi. So charate, Shankaracharya translated as vartate. Vartate means it is. How does it stay here? Pashyan, while seeing. Shrunvan, while hearing. Manvanaha, while thinking. Vijanan, while knowing. Bahuda anekada, in different ways it is born. How is it born? Krodha harshadi pratyayahi jayamanaha. Along with the conditioning of anger, along with the condition of excitement, that same Atma appears to be born. Means as the coloring of the conditioning, that becomes the coloring of consciousness. This is where we take an example of flower and crystal. Flower is blue, crystal appears blue. Flower is red, crystal appears red. So each color of flower is like one thought. Which color is thought of anger? Red color. That Atma which is colorless means without any thoughts, appears to have been born as Krodha Vritti because of superimposition. Harshadi pratyaihi jayamanah iva. And we say also in colloquial terms, I am angry, I am sad. What is the deepest meaning of I, true meaning of I, pure consciousness? How did it become angry? With the conditioning of the thought of anger. And at every moment, it appears as though I am born as a different person. Kshane rushtah, kshane tushtah. Rushtah tushtah, kshane kshane. Asanyata chittatma, asanyata chittasya prasadopi bhayankarah. There is one Subhashita which says, at one moment he is sad, another moment he is excited. Kshane rushtah, kshane tushtah. Those who have uncontrolled mind, their joy is also dangerous. Prasadopi bhayankara. You are afraid. I don't know how he will celebrate. That is this Bahuda Vartamana. Different thoughts become the conditioning of the self. Antakarna Upadi Anuvidhaitvat. Why is it called Jayamana? Consciousness which is unborn is called as Jayamana because it follows the Upadi of Antakarna. Anuvidhaitvat means it's very obedient. It follows the conditioning of Antakarna. As the thought, so will be the nature of self. Laukikaha, those who are common people, they say Rushtah, Jatah, Kruddah, Jatah. Different emotions, they are born. Anger is born, excitement is born, sorrow is born. They use these phrases colloquially. Now remaining part. Tam atmanam om iti evam omkara alambanaha santah yathokta kalpanaya dhyayatha chintayata uktam vaktavyam cha शिष्येभ्यः आचार्येण जानता शिष्याश्च ब्रह्मविद्या विविदिषुत्वात् निवृत्तकर्माणः मोक्षपथे प्रवृत्ताः तेषां निर्विघ्नतया ब्रह्म प्राप्तिम आशा अस्ति आचार्यः स्वस्ति निर्विघ्नमस्तु वह युष्माकं पाराय परकूलाय परस्तात् कस्मात् अविद्यातमसः अविद्यारहित ब्रह्मात्मस्वरूप गमनाय इत्यर्थः. Whatever was said as Bahuda Jayamanah, all of that is glory of Atma only. We are not talking about thought, we are not talking about heart, neither are we talking about buddhi. What we are discussing is how to shift attention to Atma through these things. First, recognize heart. In heart, recognize buddhi. Through buddhi, recognize buddhi pratyaya sakshi. Now, the name for this buddhi pratyaya sakshi is Om. Tam Atmanam. Om iti evam omkara alambanaha santah. This Atma is recognized by the support of Om. But it will work only when I have thought over it well. Otherwise, Om is also another name. Unless Shabda brings Shabdartha, our attention cannot shift. If somebody is asking me to get water in a language that I don't understand, water might be right next to me. Still, I will not know what he is asking. In the same way, if I have not made the connection that Om represents Nirguna Brahma, that which is Buddhi Pratyaya Sakshi, even if I say Om, attention will not shift. So what is said here is, understand Om first, then use Om as an indicator to shift attention to Akshara. Yathokta Kalpanaya, using the metaphor which was just described. Which metaphor was this? Dhanur Gruhitva, bow and arrow. Heart metaphor was only to shift attention to Buddhi and Buddhi Pratyaya Sakshi. But commentators, they clarify, this metaphor is Kalpana means metaphor. Kalpana is not imagination here. Huh? Metaphor of Dhanu and Sharaha, bow and arrow. Using that, Dhyayatha. Dhyayatha means Chintayatha. Important word here is Atmanam Dhyayatha. Think about Atma. Not heart, not buddhi. They are only the location through which you can shift attention to Atma. This point we had seen earlier. Huh? When we say, I want to meditate, first question is, what do you want to meditate on? Technique of meditation, everything comes later because it depends upon our object of meditation. So in Vedantic meditation, what we are meditating upon is Atma. And all these mantras are leading us to that self, shifting attention to that self. Dhyayata Chintayata. Now next line, what does it say? Uktam Vaktavyam cha Shishebhya Acharyena Janata. So you have to rearrange it a little bit. How do you rearrange? Just write the number. Okay, you don't have to separately write it. Just write down which word is first, which word is second, third, fourth. Janata Acharyena. Janata Acharyena Shishebhya Vaktavyam. Janata. Janata is Nya Dhatu, Shatru Pratyaya becomes Janan. And Tritiya Vibhakti becomes Janata. Bhagavan becomes Bhagavata, Janan becomes Janata. So Janata Acharyena. Acharyena is also third case. By that Acharya, while knowing the truth. Shishebhya. Shishebhya is fourth case. To the student, Vaktavyam. It should be told. Vaktavyam Uktam. Whatever has been discussed, that should be told to the student. Janata Acharyena Shishebhya Vaktavyam. By that teacher who is knowing the truth, this knowledge should be imparted to the student. Now, what is the qualification of the student? Shishyascha Brahma Vidya Vividishutvat. Shishya is somebody who is having intense desire to know Brahma Vidya. He is able to manage his life very well. That is not that he doesn't have worldly problems. Huh? Because as long as body is there, worldly problems will be there. But what is his beauty? His sadhana and bhakti is such, world he can handle on that strength. and his dharmacharanam, abidance in values, is such that itself has taken care of lot of vyavahara. That sadhaka becomes Brahma Vidya Vividishutvat. We should not think that Brahma Vidya student doesn't have any problems. Problems come because of our karma. Prarabdha karma will be there even for a mumukshu. But in the midst of that, he doesn't drop his goal. That is where he excels. Nivrutta karmana. Nivrutta means given up. Karmana means all karmas he has given up. Now this one becomes little problematic to understand. What does it mean? If I want Brahma Vidya, I should give up all karma. How should we understand this? One who has given up desires. Because karma is needed only when we have strong desire. So kamya karma and nishiddha karma he has given up. And kartavya karma he is doing for chitta shuddhi. Kartavya karma is not for attaining some other goal. Kartavya karma is for purity of mind. Whenever we get this question, right? What is Vedanta's perspective towards karma? Sometimes you might even have the question, what is Vedanta's perspective towards compassion? Because when we see somebody suffering, somebody going through difficult time, we feel that emotion of sorrow and you feel like doing something. What is Vedantic perspective here? Vedantic perspective is only one. There is absolutely, it is always encouraged to help. There is no reason to say one should not help if somebody is suffering. But only thing we have to be careful is, while helping, this thought should not come, I am helping. If that thought is protected and this vritti doesn't arise, that I am doing something, to that extent, that act of compassion will help us. But the moment this compassion turns into ahankara, it's a good ahankara, that I helped somebody, that will become an obstacle for our self-abidance. 13th chapter we had seen this example. If I drink water myself, I don't feel I have done a favor on me. But if I give a glass of water to somebody else, I feel I am helping that person. Now what did I do inadvertently here? Strengthened the notion of duality. This body is me, main aru more, that body is you, torate. So nivritta karmana, don't think of it as this person has dropped all other karmas, dropped all kartavya karma, and is not compassionate, doesn't have any values. Not in that sense. What he has dropped is doership, which was his main obstacle. Without doership, do any karma, it will not bother. With doership, even sat karma becomes a bondage. That is this line, nivritta karmana. Mokshapate pravruttaha. He is walking on the path of moksha. Natu samsara pate. Not on the path of samsara. He says, I might be imperfect, but I will walk on mokshapata only. It is better to walk with imperfection on mokshapata than with lot of perfection on samsarapata. Imperfection of mokshapata means what? Mind goes into the world now and then. That setu is built, but in between he jumps into the river. That thing which can never take place, he makes it possible. But finally he says, Bhagwan, where else will I go? If I fall, I am at your feet only. Again, climb back. Little bit he'll get, set back. Again, start walking. That is this line, Nivritta Karmanaha Mokshapate Pravruttaha. Tesham, those people who are striving now. Tesham refers to all these previous things. Who want knowledge, Brahma Vidya, who have given up doership and desires, and they are sincerely walking on the path of liberation. Tesham, to those people, this blessing is given. Nirvignataya Brahma Praptim Asha Asti. Without any obstacle to attain Brahman, Brahma Praptim. Asha Asti Acharya. What is Asha here? Not that teacher is having hope that the student will reach. Asha means Ashirvada. Asha means Ashirvada. Teacher is giving the blessing. May you attain your goal without any obstacles. Swasti, Suasti, may everything be good with you. Means Nirvignam Astu. May you not face too many obstacles in terms of lack of faith, in terms of lack of motivation. So many obstacles can come. Adhyatmika tapa it is called. Suddenly mind starts thinking differently. Nirvignam astu. Vaha yushmakam. Yushmakam is sixth case. Yushmakam vaha shashti. Of all of you, may it be auspicious. May everything be auspicious. For what is auspiciousness being invoked here? Paraya, to cross over. Parakulaya, to the opposite bank. Kula means bank. We have heard the word Anukula, right? Anukul means what? That opinion or that experience is on my side. I am standing on one bank, and the experience which I am getting, it is the way that I want. That is why I say Anukula Paristiti. Kula means bank. And some experiences are opposite. Pratikula means what? They are on the opposite bank. The way I want, it is happening differently. So Parakula means opposite bank. So from here, now don't apply this metaphor. Anukula, Pratikula. That was just to explain the word Kula. So what Acharya wants to say here is, from the bank of ignorance, may you cross over to the other side of knowledge. Parastat. What should you cross over? Kasmat avidya tamasaha. Ignorance, which is represented by tamas. Now he elaborates this. Swasti of paraya, tamas of parastat. That tamas of parastat is elaborated here. Avidya rahita brahma atma swarupa gamanaya ityartaha. This blessing is given so that we can abide in our own true nature, which is without avidya, without ignorance, and our own self. Means there is no going externally over here. What I have misunderstood about myself, removing those notions, that itself is going. And in that pursuit, may we not have many obstacles. Okay. Now next mantra is a continuation of this thought. Continuation of this thought of 3 steps. What were the 3 steps? First, pay attention to heart. Now we should not ask the question, how come that all pervading consciousness is there in the heart? He said, distinctly it can be recognized in the heart. Uttamadhikari doesn't need this guidance. Uttamadhikari can shift attention to consciousness without any support. But for us to fathom that infinite consciousness, to think in that way is difficult. So first step is heart. in that heart buddhi, and through buddhi, buddhi pratyaya sakshi. See the next mantra also. Yas sarvajñas sarvavit yasyaisha mahima bhuvi yas sarvajñas sarvavit yasyaisha mahima bhuvi divye brahmapure hyeshah व्योम्न्यात्मा प्रतिष्ठितः व्योम्न्यात्मा प्रतिष्ठितः दिव्ये ब्रह्मपुरे ह्येषः व्योम्न्यात्मा प्रतिष्ठितः मनोमयः प्राणशरीरनेता मनोमयः प्राणशरीरनेता प्रतिष्ठितोऽन्ये हृदयं सन्निधाय प्रतिष्ठितोऽन्ये हृदयं सन्निधाय तद्विज्ञानेन परिपश्यन्ति धीराः तद्विज्ञानेन परिपश्यन्ति धीराः आनन्दरूपममृतं यद्विभाति आनन्दरूपममृतं यद्विभाति Together. Yas sarvajñas sarvavit yasyaiša mahima bhuvi divye brahmapure hyeshah vyomnyatma pratishtitah manomayah pranashariraneta pratishthitonne hrudayam sannidhaya tadvijnanena paripashyanti dhiraah Anandarupamamrutam yadvibhati. Both are one mantra, right? Not 6 and 7. Which number is it? 7th. Okay. In some places it is given as 2 separate mantras. Yaha sarvajñah sarvavit. That Atma which we have been discussing so far has been previously elaborated as sarvajña and sarvavit. Where was this elaborated? First khanda. Yasya sarvajñas sarvavit yasya jnanamayam tapah. Yasya jnanamayam tapah. There sarvajña and sarvavit word had come. Shankaracharya says, I will not elaborate it again here. Same meaning it is. Sarvajñah meant samanya jnanam. Sarvavit meant vishesha jnanam. So that consciousness illumines thoughts, that is samanya jnanam. And along with maya upadhi, it knows the specifics of thoughts, that is vishesha jnanam. So Bhagwan has to know the details of thoughts, then only he can give appropriate karma phala. What was the intention behind that action? So that is Sarvavit, one who knows all. One who illumines all and one who knows all. Yes, Sarvajñah Sarvavit. Yasya Esha Mahima Bhuvi. That consciousness whose Mahima is very well known in this earth. Now Shankaracharya takes his poetic pen and he says, let me tell you a little bit about what is this Mahima. So he gives few pointers. He says it is this consciousness alone under whose ruling heaven, earth and all other lokas, they stay. Means the governor of all these lokas, heaven, earth and every other loka, that is this consciousness. And he gives details. It is because of this consciousness alone, sun and the moon, they are moving. How are they moving? He says on Diwali day, if you take sparklers and do circles out of it, that is called as Alata Chakra. Like that, sun and the moon are orbiting and doing their designated duty under the rulership of the same consciousness. That is the Mahima of this Chaitanya. And he says it is Ajasram Alata Chakram. Ajasram means continuous. Sun does his round, moon starts. Moon does his round, sun starts. He says that is the Mahima. Because of this Chaitanya alone, ocean doesn't transgress its boundaries. This is what Samudra Devata tells Bhagwan Rama. Bhagwan says, 3 days I prayed. Why did you not come? Samudra Devata says, Bhagwan, you only have set boundaries for us. If you want to break it, you do it. I cannot do it by myself. Means ocean and rivers, he says they stay in their boundaries because of this Chaitanya. Then he says, Sthavara and Jangama. That which is stationary, that which is moving. They follow their boundaries because of this Chaitanya. Tree doesn't start walking and animal doesn't stay in one place. Sthavara Jangama. Next he says, seasons, ritus which are there, they come and go because of this Chaitanya. Seasons come and go because of Chaitanya. Uttarayana and Dakshinayana. Sun follows the northern path and the southern path because of this Chaitanya. And Abdi. Abdi means Samvatsara. Years go by ruled by this Chaitanya. Abdi means year. That's why we say Shashti Abdi. Shashtyabdi Purti means 60 years are complete. So all of those years, ayanas and rutus, the ruler is this Chaitanya. Then he says, karma, karta and karma phala. Karta, karma, karma phala, they are connected to each other because of this Chaitanya. Look at the Mahima. Means what he's trying to point out here is, you cannot believe in karta, karma, karma phala and say, I don't believe in their controller. The one who connects karta with karma phala, based upon the karma that he has done, that sentient entity is Chaitanya. This is its Mahima. So how he takes us from heaven, earth, seasons, all the way to karma phala. All of that is Mahima of this Chaitanya. Where will you recognize him? Divye Brahmapure Vyomni Eshaha Atma Pratishtitaha. Rearrange that sentence a little bit. Divye Brahmapure Hyeshaha Vyomnyatma Pratishtita is given, right? So write down the rearrangement. Divye Brahmapure. Then third word is Vyomni. Fourth word is Eshaha. He Eshaha. That Esha word is fourth. Fifth word is Atma. Pratishtitaha. So Divya means it is referring to heart. Why is heart called as Divya? One, because consciousness expresses there through buddhi. But that heart is illumined by buddhi pratyas. So buddhi is as though illumining the heart. And Brahmapure. Brahmapure means that place where Brahman is distinctly recognized as reflected consciousness in that buddhi. which is placed in heart. That's why 3 steps are important. First is Hridaya, second is Buddhi, and consciousness is recognized as Buddhi Pratyaya Sakshi. These 2 words are not easy to understand, because Divya, if you say, is heart, next word will be Brahmapura. Means again we'll try to find consciousness in physical heart. Now another word is added, Vyomni. Vyomni means space, Akasha. Now which space are we talking about? Vyomni Atma Pratishtita. Okay, before we go into this, look at this example. There is a pot. Where is that pot placed right now? In space. This space, which is one of the 5 elements, that space is called as Bhuta Akasha. Bhuta Akasha. It is one of the 5 elements. Now if you close your eyes and think of that pot, where is that pot right now? For you. In the mind. And in the mind also there is space, because you are keeping that pot somewhere, right? That is called as Chitta Akasha. Chitta, Tuta. The space of the mind. Who accommodates whom? Which Akasha accommodates which Akasha? Chitta Akasha accommodates Bhuta Akasha. The space of thought accommodates the space of object. Because we can perceive that object only as thought. So Bhuta Akasha, subtler to that is Chitta Akasha. The Bhuta Akasha is accommodated by Chitta Akasha. Now where is thought accommodated? Where is thought appearing? In consciousness. Thought is appearing in consciousness. That consciousness is called as Chit Akasha. Only one ta. Also known as Chidakasha. Why is it called Akasha? Because it is accommodating thought. Why is Chitta called as Akasha? Because it is accommodating objects, Vishayas. Everybody with me? 3 Akashas. What was the first Akasha? Bhuta Akasha, pot and the material space. Second Akasha is Chitta Akasha, which accommodates all objects and even physical space outside. Only when space becomes an object can it be cognized. You need a thought of space to know space. That's why in deep sleep there is no thought, there is no space. So Chitta Akasha accommodates Vishayas and Bhuta Akasha. Because it is accommodating, it is called as Akasha. And that thought is appearing in consciousness. That consciousness is called as Chid Akasha. Chit Akasha becomes Chidakasha. Now why did we discuss all this? Vyomni word is used. Vyomni Eshaha Atma Pratishtitaha. This Atma is established here. So which of these 3 Akasha will you take? Bhuta Akasha, Chitta Akasha or Chidakasha? Chidakasha. Third one. That consciousness, which is also known as Chidakasha, there it is distinctly recognized. Divye Brahmapure Yeshaha Vyomnyatma Pratishtitaha. Okay, these 3 Akasha, Please do note it down. It will keep coming in different places, but very simple concept, and logical also. Bhutakasha, Chittakasha, Chidakasha. Okay. More we will see. Not next Tuesday, but next Thursday. Next Tuesday we won't have class. I'm traveling, so we will have the class next Thursday. Okay, coming Tuesday there is no Mundaka class, and this Saturday morning also we will not have 13 chapter class. Balvihar is not happening this weekend; it's on break. So we will meet for Sanskritam class. Those who are attending on Tuesday evening for the Prashna Manjari test. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.